coaches. Today I want to answer the question, how does a coach determine playing time? In all honesty, there is way more to deciding playing time than most people realize. And from my process and from talking with other coaches, I've come up with 7 factors that coaches take into account when deciding playing time. I'm just warning you, it's gonna get a little heated. All right, here we go. Number 1, let's just get this out of the way now, physical skill and ability. If you're a stronger player in your position, you're going to be starting. If you're a parent or a player watching this, just know that ability is not always the deciding factor. There's a lot more that coaches think about when deciding a lineup. So if you're thinking to yourself right now, but I am the best middle blocker, why am I not starting? You need to keep watching. Number 2 is volleyball IQ. Honestly, this might even outweigh skills and ability. What is volleyball IQ? Volleyball IQ is understanding how the ball moves, how to react to the ball, where it is on the court, and it's just sort of a judgment process that some players have and some players don't. I would much rather have a short middle blocker who understands when to go up for a block, when to go up for a hit, when to not go up at all, rather than a tall, strong middle blocker who just doesn't jump. Power is impressive, but volleyball IQ wins points. Number 3 is serving strength. I would rather gain a lot of points early in the match and get some momentum going forward, but I also don't want to have a bunch of weak servers at the end of my rotation. So I'll typically start with at least 3 to 4 of the strongest servers in my lineup, and then I might hide some of my weaker servers a little later on, but I still need consistency, so I still need those serves to go in. Also, when you get to the 4th server, 5th server, last server on the team, you're typically going against weaker passers, maybe with a libero still over there who's going to be dominating serve receive, and that's when you want consistency and accuracy over power. You want those first servers to be very strong, very powerful, probably the best servers on the team, but later on you can go with a little less power as long as the accuracy is there to move it around. Just want to say again, this is my process. Other coaches might do it differently. Okay, number 4 is cooperation between players. Sometimes 2 players just don't work next to each other. Most teams have a combination of aggressive players and more reserved players. And I never want to put 2 reserved players next to each other, because what's going to happen is they're going to second guess going for the ball, and then the ball's going to drop. And volleyball is a game of momentum. We don't want that to happen. Factor number 5 that a coach considers is attendance at practice and at tournaments. If you're not at practice, you don't know what we covered last week. Maybe we had to learn a new rotation. Maybe I think that instead of starting with Ellie serving, Kylie should be serving first. And so that's going to change the lineup and things are going to move around. And if you don't know how that works, I don't want your first time seeing that to be in a match. Now, I realize people get sick, people get hurt, they have to miss practice for whatever reason. Maybe it's a personal reason, and that's fine. I'm not punishing you for missing. You're just not ready to be on the court. Honestly, I don't think it's fair as a coach to put someone on the court who's not ready and expect them to perform at a high level. Because let me tell you what, sometimes you have to do that, and then that player gets upset and frustrated if they're shanking balls or letting balls drop because they're not going for it. And if I have the option to not have that happen, I'm going to do that. And honestly, it's for you, it's for the team. Everyone will be happier if we're not shanking balls. Also, we might have switched from a 6-2 to a 5-1, which is a different offensive, defensive pattern for those of you who aren't sure. But we might have switched our lineup, and maybe you know how to do serve receive for 6-2, but for the 5-1, you have no idea where to stand. And again, it's in everyone's best interest that we just don't put you in, at least to start out. Watch it once, figure out what to do in your position, and then you can go in the next match or the next set. But just not that first one. You're gonna sit out. Reason number 6 that your playing time is different than you're expecting is your position. At the ages that I coach, typically Most of the players and the parents are obsessed with serving. They think that if their daughter isn't serving, that I don't think that she's a good player or know that she's a good player. And that's just not the case. In order to serve, you have to be in the back row. And some players just aren't back row players. Just because your player can get their serves in consistently doesn't mean that she should serve during a match. Yes, that's great, and it might benefit her on another team that needs her to play back row, but if I don't need her to play back row and her serve isn't anything special or more impressive than any of the other players, I'm not going to make an exception just to have her go back. Also, if there's someone else who's better at defense but serves similarly, I'm going to have the better defensive player play, because most likely both of the serves will go over, they'll both go in, and they'll both get returned. And if your player is not in the correct defensive position or moves to the ball a little more slowly or just doesn't play as good of defense, like, we lose the chance to have a longer rally and to potentially win that ball back, keep the ball for more serves. This is one of those things where you might get mad, but I'm just having an open, honest conversation with you. Another piece to this is if your daughter or son, boys volleyball is growing, and I'm super pumped about that, but I only coach girls. So if your player plays right side, like right front, opposite, whatever you want to call it, when she goes into the back row, if you're running a 6-2, which again we talked about is an offensive defensive system, she should be probably subbing out for a setter, because what's happening is when she goes into back row for a 6-2, all of our setters will typically come from right back. I'm gonna have to make a video on this because I think a lot of people need help understanding positions, but let's just keep it short and sweet. Unless she is able to set or there's another setter in, if she needs to sub out because a setter's coming in, that's gonna happen unless she is a phenomenal, amazing, incredible server, which, I mean, it doesn't really happen that often that someone is so good that they outweigh having the setter come in, especially because it changes how the system works for just one rotation, and it can throw off, especially younger teams, it can throw off the defense, it can throw off the offense. And for younger teams, we probably don't want to make that exception. We'll just keep it nice and simple for everyone. Older teams, if it's going to make a big difference in the outcome of the match, then yes, coaches will of course make that exception, but it's probably not going to happen. Also, I just need to go on, it's not a rant, but it's just a side note. Players these days are so much more specialized than when I played, than probably if you're a parent watching or even another coach. Players are so much more specialized. They know from when they're 12 years old, I'm a middle blocker, I'm a libero, especially if they are like a serious club player, then they already know their position because someone has identified, you are tall, you're gonna be tall, your dad's huge, your mom's tall, like you're gonna be a middle hitter. Or wow, you're really short, you're probably only gonna be playing back row. Is that fair? No, but we have 6'2", 13-year-olds. Like, that's just a reality in volleyball today. That wasn't the case when I played, but it's happening now. And so those players are getting funneled into front row, and honestly, those players are, if anyone's gonna play all the way around, it's gonna be those players. Unless you have a shorter or average sized player who has hops, they're probably not gonna be an all-around player either. But there's so much specialization today that you can't really expect your daughter to play more than 3 rotations on the court. Also, rosters are just growing. You know, we used to have 8 to 10, maybe 11 players on a team. There's teams now with 16 players. They're not all playing, I guarantee that. Most of them are going to be practice players, especially at the older levels. High school teams will just have players that sit on the bench, and you're being groomed to be maybe on varsity in the later years, but for now, you're a practice player. And that's hard. I know that was hard for me to take when I was in high school, but my mom was awesome and had a great conversation with me about how I just needed to accept it or talk to the coach myself, which I know I did. I'm sure that didn't go well. But also think about that when you're choosing what club team you're going to be playing for. If you want to be on the top team, if you want to have that name, if you want to be associated with that big club, that's great. But probably playing for a smaller team, if you want that playing time, you're probably better off going with a smaller club. It can still be a good club and you can have competitive matches, but that's where you're going to play more. That's where you're going to start, is the smaller clubs, because everyone wants to be on those big name clubs, the brand name clubs. And that's where most of the really good players are going to go. And if you want to go there, and if you want to be a practice player, or if you want to be a sub, that's fine. It's really going to be great for you. You're going to get great coaching. You're going to understand strategies of the top teams, and that's invaluable, but you're probably going to have to sit on the bench a lot. So just know yourself, what's going to work for you, and make your decision based on that. End rant. The last thing that coaches take into consideration when deciding playing time is attitude. If you have a bad attitude, you're not going to play very much, if at all. There's no way as a coach that I'm going to put someone with a bad attitude on the court if I don't have to. We've already talked about it. Volleyball is a game of momentum, and it's a very mental game. If you're going to be pouting on the court, I'm taking you out. And I get it. Sometimes we get in a slump, we get really hard on ourselves, and we have negative self-talk. And I'm going to try and pump you up and talk you out of that. I'm going to compliment you, raise your confidence, tell you what you're doing well, tell you, I know you can do it, you've done this a million times, just stick with it, you've got it. I want to help you, I want you to be successful. Being sad is different than having a bad attitude. Having a bad attitude is pouting on the court when you have to sub out, or not paying attention when it's your turn to sub in, or if the ball drops between you and another player and you look, you give them that dirty look, like, why didn't you get it, instead of saying, hey, we'll get it next time. That's the attitude of a leader versus, why didn't you get that? That's going to get you subbed out real quick, or at least I'm going to try and find a way to work you out of the lineup. Volleyball is a team sport 110%. If you are not invested in your team, there are individual sports that you can go and play, or other sports that are team sports, but they're more focused on the individual. You can go there. Like, volleyball, 100% team sport. That's what you have to be in it for. So as I'm making this video, I keep thinking about, I could talk about this, I could talk about that. There's a lot more that goes into deciding playing time than just the 7 things that I've outlined. So if you'd like me to make another video on the topic, just let me know in the comments. Also, if you are a fellow coach and you think that I missed something, forgot something, please put it in the comments. I'm trying to have a conversation with you guys. I don't think that I know everything. I think I put a lot of effort into what I do, but I know there's so much more out there that by having a conversation, we can all grow together, and that's really what I hope to achieve with this channel, with my website. So please, if there's something that I forgot that you think is very important, please just add it in the comments below. If you're a player or a parent and you really think that this video helped you understand how the coach makes playing time decisions, just go ahead and give this video a like. I'd really appreciate it. Yes, Whitney, thank you for telling me that my daughter has a low volleyball IQ. Like. It is helpful though, right? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video.